It's 10:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, December 15th, and you're looking at a live shot of Space Launch Complex 40, where the SpaceX
minimal refurbishment in between. And for this mission, we've refurbished the thermal protection system on Dragon's exterior, so that's why it looks brand new. But you'll notice that the Falcon 9 first stage hasn't been scrubbed down, and you can still see the soot from re-entry. The plan going forward is to not wash or repaint any of the first stage, although from time to time we may still scrub down or repaint parts or all of it if deemed beneficial.
With NASA
we did that
for
in this mission.
20 cargo resupply missions. We're currently flying cargo missions, but ultimately we will fly astronauts on crew missions with our first crew demo mission slated for next
12th
year.
mission in September of this year. Then we have 8 more follow-on missions for this contract, and then after that we jump onto the CRS-2 contract. And that is where we're going to be using the Crew Dragon vehicle to transport cargo to and from the space station. And the nice thing about that is the Crew Dragon vehicle has additional safety features beyond the vehicle we're currently flying, as well as a significant increase in capability of the type of research and science payloads we can fly. Dragon carries 2 types of cargo.
Steer Falcon 9 during ascent. Falcon 9 is going to enter startup mode at T-minus 1 minute, at which point it is in full control of the remainder of the countdown. Dragon, of course, also performing its own final checkouts to make sure all of its primary systems are going to be working in flight. Again, it's going to take a couple days to get to the space station. And just before liftoff, watch to see the strongback retract to give Falcon 9 a bit more clearance during launch. Currently, the range is a go. Everything weather-wise is still looking golden. And let's listen in to the last couple minutes of terminal count.
Stage 1 LOX load closed out. Vehicles transitioning to internal power. Stage 2 LOX load closed out.
AFTS is ready for launch.
F9 is in startup.
LD is go for launch.
Stage 2 pressing for flight.
T-minus 30 seconds and count.
Stage 1 pressing for flight.
T-minus 15. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff. So your post-launch flight operations. Towers complete.
You saw it on the screen and heard the call-outs. We had successful liftoff of the Falcon 9 on time. A few seconds after that, it cleared the towers and then did a pitch kick maneuver. Currently, vehicle is supersonic. You may have just been able to make out a small sonic boom there. We're about to head to max Q, which is maximum aerodynamic pressure. That's the point at which the rocket is pushing hardest against the atmosphere.
Vehicle is passed through max Q.
Just finished that stage of flight.
MVAC engine chill has started.
MVAC engine chill gets the engines cold enough just in the way that the first stage engines perform its chill. And coming up shortly, we're going to have a few things in quick succession. The main engines are going to cut off, the two stages are going to separate, and the second engine will start. And the first stage is then going to make its way back towards landing zone 1 with a boost back burn.
We have Miko.
Stage separation.
And there we have it. Those 4 events all went in quick succession. The first stage currently boosting back. We've also gotten confirmation that the second stage trajectory is good.
Boost back burn shut down.
Okay, so on the left-hand side of your screen, you just saw the grid fins deploy. Quick recap for those of you that may have just joined us. We've had a successful launch of Falcon 9 for Dragon to the International Space Station. We have had a stage separation, and on the left-hand side is the first stage, Falcon 9, returning back to landing zone 1 in Florida.
We just had a phenomenal camera shot from our ground tracking cameras of the first stage and second stage separating, and then that first stage boost back burn. Currently, the first stage on the left-hand side of your screen is about to enter its re-entry burn phase. This is when it slows itself down before it hits the dense part of the atmosphere so that there's no aerodynamic heating of those engines which are coming in head first.
And that shot that you see on the right-hand side of your screen, that is the second stage engine glowing brightly. Personally, one of my favorite shots that we can get during a launch as it carries Dragon towards the International Space Station. So first stage on the left-hand side, second stage on the right.
On the left-hand side, that first stage, you can see those cold gas thrusters. Those are orienting the stage as it goes to the upper regions of the atmosphere. And then as the air gets thicker and thicker on its way down, we start using those grid fins, which you just saw deploy, to steer the stage back towards a safe landing at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, landing zone 1.
Yeah. So we have a total of 3 burns that the first stage will perform. You've already saw the boost back burn. We're getting ready for the re-entry burn, and that's to slow it down. And then finally the landing burn. And we're about 30 seconds away from that re-entry.
You can actually see the edge of Cape Canaveral in the screen on the left-hand side there. So as we get closer and closer to the ground, we should be able to get continuous video all the way down towards touching down on that pad.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Daytime launch, can't get any better than that. They're gorgeous shots.
Remember on the right-hand side, the primary mission, that's a camera mounted towards the bottom of the second stage. On top of that second stage, the Dragon spacecraft. Let's get an update on how it's doing right now.
We're at T plus 5 minutes and 55 seconds, and the second stage is still moving along at full power towards the International Space Station. Quick recap of the mission thus far. First stage had an on-time launch at 10:26 Eastern. We've just moved into entry burn startup, and you can see that happening on the screen on your the left side of the screen. We had a nominal ascent. Second stage separated from the first stage, which is still moving towards landing zone 1. The Dragon nose cone was deployed, and power and trajectory are both still looking good on stage 2.
Stage 1 AFTS has saved.
So we are just seconds away from that landing burn. The first stage on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see it's getting very close to Cape Canaveral. In just a second or two, that landing burn, the center engine will light up and take it softly down to the ground.
Yeah, so we should be seeing that in just a couple of seconds. We're just past T plus 7 on the right-hand side, second stage, as it's carrying Dragon spacecraft towards the International Space Station, our primary mission. But on the left-hand side, let's tune in and watch this landing burn.
Landing burn has just started, as you can see. Watch for those landing leg deploy. Just a second or two.
You just saw the first stage land on landing zone 1. That marks the second successful visit to and from space for this particular booster. MVAC-D, the Merlin vacuum engine that you're currently seeing on your screen, has slowly begun to power down as expected. The second engine cutoff is coming up in about 20 seconds.
Second stage AFTS has saved.
At that point, the second stage and Dragon will be coasting towards its rendezvous with the International Space Station. We'll confirm we've entered the correct orbit, and then Dragon will deploy from the second stage.
Yes, you go.
GNC confirms good orbit insertion.
So we had a successful landing of that first stage of the Falcon 9. That's the second time for that particular booster. Right now we had a second engine cutoff of the second stage, and we're just waiting for the Dragon deploy, where the Dragon separates from the second stage of the rocket.
Right, so there you can see on your screen, we're waiting for that visual confirmation of Dragon deployment. After Dragon deploys, we will be waiting for the solar arrays to spread out, and then it'll be making its way to the International Space Station.
Acquisition signal.
So watching your screen right now, this is a camera pointing at the very bottom of the Dragon as it's docked right now to the second stage of the Falcon 9. And there it is. That is a successful deployment of the Dragon spacecraft. You can see into the trunk, those external payloads in the very back of the trunk right now.
Right, so like we said before, that is the unpressurized section of Dragon. The pressurized, you can't see from this particular view, but all of that will be making its way to the International Space Station over the next 3 days or so. We're expecting it to arrive on Sunday.
You may have also seen the two pods on the side of the trunk. Those are the solar panels. Currently they're folded up accordion style against the sides of the trunk. In just about a minute or so now, those covers are going to pop off, and then the solar panels are going to extend, which gives the Dragon the power it needs to get to the International Space Station.
Yeah, so there on your screen, that's a shot from the second stage, and that is Dragon moving away in its mission. And wow,
Now, Dragon doesn't just go directly to the International Space Station. It actually takes a series of burns to get there. And this happens over a period of about 36 to 72 hours after the deployment. These are both height adjust and co-elliptic burns, as you can see in this animation. The Dragon slowly moves itself closer and closer to the ISS until it's grabbed by the arm and can be berthed.
Yeah, so berthing is what we refer to as when the Canada arm reaches out, as you can see right there, grabs Dragon and then brings it in and mates it to the International Space Station.